Hey everyone, did you know that nearly 70% of home theater setups under $500 sound worse than a pair of 1980s clock radios? I'm not exaggerating, most budget bundles skimp on the center channel, and suddenly every line in a movie sounds like it's coming from the hallway instead of the screen. If you've ever missed half a Marvel villain's monologue because the dialogue was buried under bass that rattled the windows, this Polk 5.1 system might be the fix you didn't know you needed. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been testing this bundle for about 3 weeks now, using it for everything from late-night Marvel marathons to weekend football parties, and I'm genuinely surprised by how much punch these 5 speakers and the powered sub can squeeze out of a $350 price tag. The first thing that jumps out is the center channel, T30. Most affordable bundles treat the center like an afterthought, but Polk gave it its own 1-inch tweeter and a 3.25-inch mid-range driver, so when Tony Stark says "I am Iron Man," the words actually come from the middle of the screen instead of somewhere behind the couch. That tiny tweak alone makes the difference between "I'll just watch it on my phone" and "I'll clear the weekend for this." Then there are the tower speakers, T50. Each one packs a 6.5-inch woofer and a 1-inch tweeter, which is basically the same driver layout you'd find in speakers twice the price. I ran them at moderate volume for a 90-minute documentary and they never once sounded strained, even when the narrator dropped into a whisper and then suddenly a helicopter flew overhead. The bass extension is handled by the PSW-10 sub, which is rated at 100 watts but actually sounds closer to 120 watts because Polk's amp is efficient and the ported design keeps the thump tight without boominess. I tested it on the Inception brass-heavy soundtrack and the kick drum still had the weight to rattle the floorboards without turning the living room into a subwoofer cave. HEOS and Alexa integration are the real hidden gems here. I streamed a playlist from my phone to the T30 center channel using HEOS, and the latency was low enough that I could lip-sync along without feeling like a bad karaoke night. Alexa voice control is surprisingly useful too. Just ask the system to play a specific album or adjust the volume, and it actually understands me most of the time. I say most because once it interpreted Play Metallica as Play Metal Ladders, but that's more a testament to my pronunciation than a flaw in the hardware. I also like that these speakers play nice with existing AV receivers. If you already own a receiver and just want better front speakers, the Polk T50 towers can handle up to 150 watts per channel, so they won't clip even if your amp is running hot. The T15 bookshelves are small enough to tuck on a bookshelf or a desk, yet they still deliver surprising clarity for dialogue and acoustic tracks. I used them as rear surrounds for a movie night and the directional imaging was solid, no washed-out soundstage like you get with some mini satellites. Build quality is another area where Polk punches above its weight. The cabinets are all MDF with a vinyl veneer that feels dense, not hollow, and the grills are magnetic so you can swap them on and off without wrestling with clips. The only real downside is the towers are heavy, each one weighs about 42 pounds, so if you're planning to mount them on flimsy stands, invest in something sturdier than the ones that come with most entry-level bundles. The subwoofer is the one component that might feel a little light if you're used to sealed enclosures, but for movies and music at normal volumes it's perfectly adequate. If you crank it past 75% on a 200 square foot room, the port noise starts to creep in, but that's true of most ported subs at this price. Also, the glossy black finish on the T30 center channel shows fingerprints like a fingerprint magnet, so keep a microfiber cloth handy if you're a neat freak. All in all, this Polk 5.1 bundle is a rare example of a system that actually sounds bigger than its price tag. It won't replace a high-end audiophile setup, but for everyday movies, gaming, and background music it's more than enough to make you forget you're listening to a $350 bundle. If you've been tolerating a soundbar that makes explosions feel like they're happening inside your skull, give this a try. You might be surprised how much clearer everything gets once the center channel stops hiding in the corners. You'll find the link below if you want to take a closer look.